Hey everyone, welcome back to BrowncoatNerd. Today we got a review on some non-surplus. What we have here is the SDS Imports Lynx 12. And this is essentially a Chinese copy or clone of the Sega 12. Lots of different pronunciations, Sega, Saga. I actually spent quite a bit of time online looking into this and discovered that neither one of those pronunciations are correct, and it's actually pronounced Sega! Sorry, that's for my 80s nerds. And much like a Sega Genesis, it is black and for the cool teens, unlike the Nintendo. Okay, anyway, so this is basically a Sega 12 clone or copy. Ever since I had my Savage Stevens, 320? I've got a review on that as well. It's also a Chinese-made shotgun. I was fairly happy with it. That guy was only like $250 or something, maybe $225. This one, the MSRP I believe is $500. I picked this up for $500. I do know about a year ago, Classic was running a sale on some of these, but they had the nickel boron bolt. I'll get into the different models here in just a second. And those were on sale for like $300. And ever since I missed out on that sale, I've been like really reluctant to, mess with these, kind of hoping that sale will come back around. But I've been seeing them for $500. I've come across really old videos of these when they first came out. People were talking about how they paid $500. So $500 seems to be the going rate for these. And for what you get, I think it's a pretty good deal. So you got three models of these. This is just the plain Jane one, real basic, very much like your basic traditional Sega 12s. They do come in sporterized, at least locally for us. If you don't know, the Segas originally came in with a Monte Carlo style stock, did not have a pistol grip on it, and because of that, the trigger group was moved back here. So in order to do like the tactical conversion, not only do you need to put the new stock on there, but you literally have to move your trigger forward. And that's just kind of a pain in the butt. I've never messed with it, never looked into it. And then, add the grip and all that stuff. And then at some point while those were getting imported, the ATF said, you know what, you can just go ahead and import them in this configuration. And so they started doing that. So that's why you'll see the Sega Sagas in quite a few different configurations, as well as they also offer different models and different setups, I do believe. Whereas this is your plain Jane one, just a very basic setup. They do have a nickel boron model, and that is a nickel boron bolt carrier and bolt, I believe. Which kind of caught me off guard. When I saw those on sale for $300, it also made me a little bit nervous. I'm like, why the hell is there a shotgun that has a nickel boron bolt carrier for $300? So... but I've been watching a lot of reviews on these, and they seem to be pretty good. So the third model of these they have, I believe, is called the 3G for 3-gun. And that, I think, only comes with the standard painted or Parkerized bolt carrier. It might have the nickel boron option as well. But the main thing about that one is your charging handle, rather than being on the right side, which would be for your traditional Kalashnikov, it is actually a left side charging handle. And I believe that also has a rail up top. And the dust cover might be hinged. Don't quote me on that, but I know it has the left-handed charging handle and the pick rail up top. So those are your options there. I do not know the prices of those. When it finally came around time where I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and buy one of these, I didn't even know that model freaking existed. Before doing this video, I did look around online trying to find places that had them in stock so I could give you an idea of how much the price differed, but yeah, I couldn't find it. So yeah, sorry. So those are your three models of these. One thing not to confuse us with, which I did when I first started looking into these, SDS Imports, who imported this, they also imported a shotgun AK called the Cheetah. And that also came out of China, but at a different factory. And that was, once again, very much like the Sega shotguns, but they changed a bunch on those. So the front sight, the only thing I liked about them really was the front sight was a fiber optic front sight, which is nice. I believe all of those came with the left-handed charging handle, which I also like. The rear sight, I believe, was put back here, and I've seen some videos complaining about that sight coming loose. You know, normally people will complain about putting a sight on the dust cover because that comes off, you're going to lose your zero. Well, this is a shotgun, so to me, like, whatever small variation in there you would get, I don't think would be an issue. However, if the entire sight falls off, that's an issue. So they did have that rear sight move back here. The biggest thing to me, which just drove me crazy, and it just looked so funky, was it did not have your traditional AK safety lever here. Instead, it looked like a little AR-15 safety switch on both sides. Oh, excuse me, right here. So I'm sure that's probably more ergonomic, ambidextrous, but it looked really weird, an AK receiver with just a little switch there instead of the, this big old guy. So I was a little hesitant on those. And I've watched a lot of videos literally comparing the Cheetah and the Lynx. For the most part, there doesn't seem to be too much of a difference. I have seen a couple videos where it seems like they did prefer the Lynx somewhat over the Cheetah. I've seen a few videos with Cheetahs having feeding issues. I've also seen videos with these having some feeding issues. But I think a lot of that goes back to what kind of shotgun round, shot shell you're using. You know, if you're using high brass or low brass, as well as the magazines. The magazines for these seem to be extremely finicky and picky. I'll get into that in a second. What you get with this, though, is a 19-inch chrome-lined barrel, which that's pretty nice. You also, let me get it here. We'll just go from front to back here, folks. So up front, you do have a threaded brain farting here, a thread protector. And as you can see, I've tried to get this one off there. Now, like the videos I've seen of these, people just grab this and twist it right off. And I do not have a wrench big enough on there, but I tried some channel locks to no avail. And these ones are righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. They're not like the reversed 14x1 threads. So that's kind of frustrating, but I'll get that off eventually. These also do have adjustable gas block here, which is pretty nice. So my understanding, the traditional Sega Sagas, they would have two options on there. One for low brass and one for high brass, pretty much. This one does have four. One of them is a complete shutoff, so I guess you kind of have three different settings plus complete shutoff. And I looked in the owner's manual. It doesn't even go over this, like, at all. And I was kind of curious about that. The complete shutoff. And this, I'm not real big into shotguns, and especially AK shotguns. This is my first Kalashnikov style shotgun. The brass shutoff, or the gas shutoff, I don't know if that's intended for, like, 3-inch Magnum rounds or something, where you're just using the recoil to chamber the round, or if that's for, like, really weak low brass buckshot or birdshot or something, where it's not going to cycle, so you just switch it to that and just use this as a manual cycling function. So if any of you know, I feel really stupid asking this question. I'm sure it's very obvious. But what is the gas cut off for? Is it just for going to manual control, or is that for the really heavy duty loads? Are they able to cycle on their own? Because I haven't said it yet, I really hate doing reviews, guys, without me shooting the gun. Times are crazy right now. And the other thing, too, with this being a shotgun, I actually do have plenty of ammo for this. But the indoor range that I'm pretty much stuck going to, I've got a few around here, but the one I go to normally, they used to allow shotguns as long as you're shooting a slug. Well, I think we all know what happened. Too many people were showing up still shooting buckshot. So they just said no shotguns at all. So I no longer have access to the country like I used to. It really sucks. I used to know someone that had a property out in the country. We could go out there and shoot and have fun. They are no longer there, so that kind of blows. So I've been stuck with this gun for a while. And also I always kind of joke about how I've done a few reviews on modern guns. And I'm like, I'm going to update it and add this stuff, and I'll show you guys the videos. And then you guys probably just think I sold the damn thing because you never see it again. I'm like an ostrich that sees a shiny object. I get distracted real easily, and I'll get a gun, something new like this. I plan on doing stuff, and then I see some old surplus, and I'm like, ooh, what's this? And forget all about the what I was planning on doing. So back when I ordered this, I actually got a few parts for it. But then when I ran into this thing, I was just like, God, I need to get a wrench and put it in my closet. Whatever surplus caught my eye next completely made me forget about this. Until just recently, because I've started seeing ads for this again. And I'm like, you know what? I should probably do a review on that, even though I haven't shot it. So I'm sorry, guys. I can't give you any shooting impressions. This is just kind of a fun unboxing, even though I've had it for a while, or just initial first impressions. I hate doing those because I want to get it all in one video, but it is what it is right now, guys. So, for the front sight, we do have a little just basic bead there. The rear sight, you actually have a rear sight on the shotgun. It's just a basic little notch. Your handguard here is very reminiscent of what the Sega Sagas came with. Just a real basic handguard. I've not taken this one off yet, so I do not know if there's an actual heat shield underneath here. One thing I will point out, some of the reviews for this, people talk about how, for the most part, they've got a pretty good reputation, but people will talk about how the fit and finish isn't the best. There's been spots on like the levers that didn't get paint. And really the only thing I've noticed on this one, there's like a kind of a chunk missing from the inside of the handguard there, which I'll never touch, I'll never rub on it, but it's there. But at the same time, I'm fine with it because all this stuff's coming off. I'm replacing everything. So that's no biggie to me. You have a little sling swivel. Man, I cannot talk. Swing swivel. Sling swivel on the bottom here. We do have a traditional AK style rail mount on the side. That's pretty nice. Was not expecting that when I was first looking into these. And then you'll notice your mag release here. It's a little different. The whole trigger guard is different. These are normally kind of together. This trigger guard's kind of small. So if you're going to be using this with gloves, this is a little smaller than your traditional AK trigger guard. So that might be an issue. I was looking at this and I was like, man, that looks funny. And then I pulled out my Tantal and I was like, that's what's going on. So this is a little bit different from your traditional AK. I have no clue how this looks on the Sega Sagas. It might be a perfect match for those. I'll be honest, I do not know. You may notice that the bolt is held back. This has nothing to do with the mag. It does not have a last round bolt hold open. It just has a little notch that's right down there. And you just pull the carrier back, push it up, and boom, you're locked in. So when I was first looking into these, my understanding was that was put there because in order to load a fully loaded magazine, you need to have the charging handle back. What I discovered, at least on this one, and maybe they're all like this, but I had some snap caps, and even with just 2 of those in the magazine, I cannot put that mag in there with the bolt carrier all the way forward. So I have to have the bolt carrier back, even if I'm going to load like 1 round or something. A lot of the Sega Sagas came with a little nub like this to lock it back. A lot of them did not, but you'll see them with like a little notch cut out here like you see on the Yugo pattern AKs to lock your charging handle into. So you still have that. I mean, they both pretty much do the same thing. This one, it's just a little thin latch there. So sometimes it's kind of a pain pushing it, especially when your charging handle's on the right side. If I had the left-handed charging handle, it might be better. So it's kind of a little bit of fumbling. Some people might prefer the notch on the safety. They might find that that's easier. I totally get that. I do kind of like the little mechanical insert. I think it's just kind of a little bit nicer. But like I said, in reality, the notch does the same thing, and it might even be better for some people. The safety, as mentioned in a lot of these Lynx videos, is real soft. Like, I was handling this and then went to my Zastava M92, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with my safety? And I literally thought something was like jammed up in there or something. And then it finally came down, and I was like, oh no, it's just this one's so not tight. I do like the safety though, because it's got two nice extended ledges there. Actually, I really like the feel of this safety. Not just how it's not tight or anything, but just having these 2 extended ledges there. You have your traditional style AK grip. Now, I will say that the grip screw is a different size, I believe. I still need to take off the grips on some of my other AKs, kind of see what the hell's going on there. Basically, I ordered a grip for this. Quickly discovered that the screw that came with the grip was too big. So I don't know if I can get a... I know Carolina Shooter Supply, they do sell a short grip screw for the Lynx 12s, but they've been out of stock of it for a while. So I might just look around and try to find another one. I found some other ones, but they don't specifically say for the Lynx 12, so I'm not trying to, you know, spend 20 bucks on 3 screws or something. Another option I guess I would have is just get a replacement grip nut. Something else, once again, I'm going to play around with some of my other AKs and see if I can just get a replacement grip nut and then use the screw that came with the grip. And in case you're all wondering what grip, I've had this sitting here for a while. Actually, originally, this was going to go onto my Zastava, which is a whole other bag of worms because I do know the grip screw for the Zastavas are different too. I was just going to try to like buy one or once again possibly change up the grip nut. I don't know if those were interchangeable. So I've had this sitting here for freaking ever. I'm ready to use it. So let's see. Dust cover. This is the smooth, like kind of heavy duty dust cover, which is nice, I guess. It's not the one with the ribs in it that tends to be a little bit thinner. You have a little extension here. That's just because the shotgun shells are much longer than your traditional 7.62 by 39 rounds. Well, actually, not really much longer. I guess just fatter. But the other Sega Sagas have this. My Vepr that's in 7.62 by 54 has this. It's just kind of, instead of having that exposed area behind the bolt carrier, this kind of gives a little protection from the elements there, I guess. And I want to say the one that's on my Sega is... Or not on my Sega. The one that's on my Vepr was plastic. Maybe it is metal. But it just does this one side. This one's kind of interesting as it's symmetrical. You got this whole covering on the other side too, which you really don't need because, you know, it's already covered. Your takedown tab here, as you can see, it's got a little locking nub in it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Polish style locking latches. You'll see these kind of things on a lot of AKs that are intended to shoot rifle grenades. You'll see them on a lot of those Zastavas as well. They have a little nub over here on the side though. Your buttstock, once again, it's your traditional Warsaw length AK buttstock. This one, I mean, both the grip and the buttstock, it's kind of a cheaper feeling plastic. It's not super cheap. It's not real bad, but it does lack a little bit of quality when it comes to the feel of it. I will say the butt pad. It's got a decent sized rubber butt pad on there. Not too bad. It's not real soft, but it's not super hard. It's probably 2 or 3 degrees below rock hard. Do not have a little spot for your cleaning kit. Then on the other side we have the rear sling swivel. So that's kind of the features here. What am I missing? Oh, the trigger pull. Holy crap. Okay, so in a few videos I see people talking about how nice the trigger actually is. I know Carolina Shooter Supply has a video on like changing out a lot of stuff specifically on the Lynx. And they change out the trigger with like a Tapco trigger, I believe. And the guy's like, this is a better trigger because now the trigger pulls 5 pounds. Okay. So when I was playing around with this, I had my snap caps in there because I do use snap caps when I'm dry firing shotguns. If that thing would have been loaded, I would have had a negligent discharge. Like, there is no wall. The trigger goes back some. It's not heavy. And then out of nowhere, click. And it is a super light trigger. I was surprised. Almost got me thinking, is it too light? I don't know. I'll have to shoot it, but it's light. So I took my Lyman trigger pull gauge. And you guys have heard me talk about before, sometimes some of these guns seem to have really light triggers. So I don't know if my Lyman trigger pull gauge is off or what. It's a Lyman, you know, so it's brand name. I'll grab it and prove it to you guys. See, it does exist. But I've noticed it seems like I get really light trigger pulls. So I did 5 trigger pulls on this guy. The average of those 5 trigger pulls came to just over 2 pounds. Like I said, it is stinking light. So I was really blown away by that. Also doing research on this, I came across one guy on YouTube. I am not familiar with his channel at all. The first time I discovered him was looking up the Lynx. If you do the same as I do, you're going to eventually come across this guy's videos. He's got several. I think he even has 2 different channels. But he says he trains people, and he uses the Lynx a lot in the training. Like I said, I'm not saying he does. I don't know the guy. I'm not saying he doesn't. I just recently stumbled across his channel. But he does have, like, I think 3 of these and, like, 2 Sega Sagas. And I've watched his videos, and I've picked up a lot, I feel like, especially on the Lynx from his videos. I guess those are the only videos of his I've watched. But he says that through the training that he's done with these Lynx, that one of them has had 10,000 rounds in it. And at 10,000 rounds is when he noticed there was a crack in the bolt carrier. Which, to be honest, guys, I'm probably not going to put 10,000 rounds through this. So I'm okay with that. Now, he did compare that to his Sega Sagas, and he said that both of those were right around 30,000 rounds and before those bolt carriers cracked, and both of the Sega Sagas have cracked bolt carriers. So if that's true, the bolt carrier will last 1/3 of the life compared to the Sega Sagas, but at the same time, that's still 10,000 rounds. It's not horrible. And I believe he said he even contacted SDS and the company that imported this, and he was able to order some additional bolt carriers. I want to say they cost him like $40. I think it was the bolt carrier and the bolt. He did say it required some minor fitting. That's probably something I'll look into, simply because, like I said, I don't plan on putting 10,000 rounds through here. But if SDS should stop importing them, and God knows what will happen with the gun laws and everything, I want to at least be able to have at least one backup part of what's most likely going to break on this. He did compare this bolt carrier to a Sega Saga bolt carrier. And the one on the Sega Saga was slightly too long. You could probably machine that. Like the gas piston was too long. Or is that still even a gas piston? Because there's a little puck in here. It's, I don't know, impingement arm. But it was slightly too long. You probably could ground that off. But at the same time, the Sega Saga bolt carriers are a lot more expensive than $40. So, just so you guys know about that. And then magazines. Okay, so I was looking into these because, like, well, I want a few of the, 8 or 10 round mags, maybe a drum or something. And one of the most biggest complaints you'll hear about, not just the Lynx, but the Sega, or really any of the AK shotguns, it seems, is mag fitment and reliability. It's like all over the freaking place. I believe it's, I meant to look this up. I think it's SGS Tactical. They make a mag for it. They seem to be the most popular. And really, for the most part, from different reviews I watch, no one says they're crap mags. They'll either say they're great mags or they're okay mags. And then pretty much every other brand is a complete mix. You're going to get 5 videos saying that they're perfectly reliable, and then you'll find another 5 videos saying they're junk, don't buy them. The one mag I've come across that I've not seen a single person talking smack on, and to me it looks like the coolest mag because they're all metal, is the C-Spec mags. Now they make those in 8 and 10 rounds, I believe. I've been just kind of randomly hopping on the internet every 2-3 weeks or whatever just to see if I can find some. I have not been able to find any for freaking ever, so I still don't have any of those yet. Those do require fitment, like the company tells you that straight away. But from what I've seen, most mags are going to require fitment. So the one it comes with, you're either going to get 1 or 2 5-round mags. I've seen different offers with these. And the one that will come with it, it will say SDS Imports Made in China. Now, if you order another one of these mags from SDS Imports, it's going to look the exact same, but it's going to say Made in the USA. Now, I've come across a few videos, at least 2, of people saying that have both Made in China versions of these and Made in the US versions of these, and they're saying that the US ones completely suck, and that the Chinese ones are okay, and they look identical other than just saying where it's made. I don't have a US one, so I can't really tell you for myself. That's just what I've seen, and it's a little frustrating because I can guarantee you the people making this mag in the US are getting paid more and have better living conditions than the people making this in China. So that's kind of sad. So I hope that's not true, but it seems like it is. So just so you know, if you have one of these shorter mags and you're having issues with it, just check the where it's made. That might be your issue. The one mag I did pick up, and this is probably one of the mags I saw most people saying don't get, other than the SGS. I know I said SGS was pretty good, but the SGS clear mags, everyone kind of said stay away from those. It's like the plastic they use, since it's clear, is cheaper. I've seen at least 2 videos of people testing them out, and they broke. Like, chunks of plastic came off the mag as they were testing it. So I don't know how new they were at that point, but be wary of those. They might look cool, but be wary of them. The other thing I hate about those SGS mags, and I really hope it's SGS or I'm completely knocking the wrong company, it's kind of a flat slab side mag with like defined lines. And their whole reasoning for that, the company's reasoning for that is, oh, well, if you bought a 10-round mag and you want an 8-round mag, there'll be like a line like right here. They say just cut the mag at that line, and then you move your base plate up to that line using that line as like the little locking piece. And then you can also get a 5-round, 3-round mag and all that stuff. And they kind of are using it as like a selling point. If I want a 5-round mag, I'm just going to buy a 5-round mag. I'm pretty sure they're cheaper than their 10-round mags. Plus, I don't got to mess around with cutting the stuff down. And guys, they didn't leave those lines on there so that you can change the size capacity of your mag at a whim. Also, what about the spring? Anyways, the reason those lines are on there is because they do not want to buy more than one mold. They're using that same mold for all of the magazines. You know, they're just trimming it themselves in shop. So that's one thing I hate about those mags. They seem to be pretty good, but they're butt ugly. Actually, most of these shotgun mags are ugly. The C-Spec ones look cool, but that's the reason I got this one. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This does not have the best reputation. I mean, it's freaking Pro Mag. What do you expect? But it kind of has that Pro Mag faux waffle pattern. I think my Pro Mag HK mags are the same way, which that irritates me. Why is Pro Mag the only company that makes aftermarket HK93 mags? Stupid. So I got this because it looked cool. And overall, it seems pretty decent. Most of these shotgun AK mags that you get, you are going to have to fit them. On this one here, that little ridge was just coming up a little bit too much. And so I just filed it down a little bit on each side. And this now actually fits in there super, super tight. The 5-round mag it came with, this guy, there's a fair amount of wobble in there. This guy, absolutely none. It is a tight fit. And another thing I saw about these Pro Mag videos, and I ran into it myself, people talking about how like when you're first using it, it seems like there's like extra flashing on the inside of this, and that follower is kind of catching up on it. And everyone kind of talks about how, you know, you just push it down or you just use it a bunch and eventually it goes away. After loading this mag like 2 or 3 times, I think it's completely gone away in this. I mean, you could take the base plate off and just kind of file it down, but just so you know, if you do get one of these and it's feeling super funky, just kind of work that, try to get off any of the excess plastic that's on the inside. It seems to be that's what the case was. I still haven't taken this one apart to actually see if that was the case. But while we got this out, I'll go ahead and show you guys the trigger, which is something I always try to mean to do, to show you at least the reset. I suck enough at trying to remember to do the trigger pull for you guys. 2 pounds. I can't believe that. Okay. So, I'll pretend I'm a lefty here. Like I said, it's real light. There it goes. Like I just thought I was going to have to pull a bit further. So you see how soft that trigger is. I mean, there's no wall there at all. And I'll show you the reset here. Pretty audible click. I definitely wouldn't say that's trigger slap. It is pretty soft. Not too bad at all. So I am looking forward to this, guys. I will have a follow-up video. Traditionally, I try to do a video on the first Friday and on the third Friday of every month, usually. I will be coming out with some videos of different upgrades I do to this. I'll probably do them individually. I'm not going to do it all at once because all the stuff that I have here, once I get it on there, I still plan on doing more to this. But what I'm going to do, when I do have an upgrade video for this, I'm not going to really count it as one of my regular videos. I'll put it out on the off week. Just because if you don't care about this gun, if you don't give a crap about this gun, I'm not going to be putting out videos for the next 3 months just on this gun. You know, so I'm going to do the upgrades for this guy kind of as bonus videos. They're going to be really short, you know, like one will be when I finally get the thread protector off there. Finally put on the flash hider there. And that will be one video, so they'll be pretty short. So if you are looking into getting one of these, or if you have one, keep an eye out for those. I will be putting out those videos hopefully sometime soon. I hope I'm not coming back. Okay, guys, here's my first upgrade video finally after a year. I promised it. Probably will, but hopefully not. All right, guys, that is it. I think I've covered everything this time. It's like the fourth time making this video. It's so irritating. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you did like this, please like and subscribe, and stay shiny.